to this vlog. I'm really excited. This is my first reading vlog. I'm so excited about it. One of my favorite YouTubers ever to watch, Haley Fam. Love her so much, so I'm so excited to be doing this. It's probably gonna end up being a little, like, you can definitely get the vibe that I'm new to this, so bear with me. I love to yap, I love to talk, so I'm definitely gonna be talking a lot in this. I do my best to edit out any spoilers that I give, and also I have to say a few of the clips, because I'm recording this after I've read all the books already, but a few of the clips kind of go out of focus at certain points. I apologize for that. I apologize. I will fix that next time around, but for the start of this video, I'm starting with my honorable mentions because I read these two books before I started filming and had the idea to do a summer reading recommendation vlog. But here's two books that I'd really love to recommend to you. I have One Last Summer by Kate Spencer. This one's just really fun. I gave this 4 out of 5. And this is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I'm sure you are seeing this one everywhere, and I do fear I have to say this is a really, really, really great book, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, I'm not gonna go too in depth on these two, but I did want to kind of add them in and throw them into the vlog because I think that they're just really fun summer reads if you're looking for them. So yeah, now let's get into the in-depth part of this vlog, and it's a pretty long vlog, so I apologize again, but yeah, enjoy! Hello there. So, I have to admit, I already started this book, and I'm kind of already halfway through. Yeah, I started it yesterday, and I'm gonna be really honest, at first, I was not really loving it because I didn't like Sam, the main female character, or Jack, her fiance. They're just both, the way that their characters live and the way that they think, where they like predictability and they're just very meticulous with their life and very careful, which is not very me, didn't speak to me. It's not how I am, and I just don't understand it, so maybe that's why. But then we get into, you know, kind of flashbacks of like Sam and her old flame, Wyatt, and that's when I started really liking it, because also I found myself being able to relate more to Sam's character when she was younger compared to the more present version of her. But yeah, halfway through, I'm actually really liking it now, but I do have to say, every time we go into the now scenes, when it says now, I'm like, okay, fine, because if I go into the now scenes, it means I get less of Wyatt, and then if I go into the then scenes, I get more of Wyatt, and as you can tell, I'm a huge fan of Wyatt, so I'm completely rooting for him. It's been really fun. It's been really fun. I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out. I'm still not at the point yet where I learn what happened between Wyatt and Sam, but I'm really hoping it's soon because they were so cute and they were the cutest little childhood friends to lovers type of situation. They had such a strong potential to be that, but I want to know what happened and why they're just no longer a thing. Oh, so look at this cover. It's so cute. This is Sam and look at little Wyatt. Ah, it's so cute, and I love that Wyatt is a writer. Yeah, but I don't know. I really don't know what could have possibly happened between them two. But we'll see, I guess. So, I don't know if you can tell, this book has gone through a complete transformation. There is now book tabs in it, there is a lot of annotation and highlighting in it, and I'm going to start this off by sharing some of my favorite quotes. On page 223, there's 2 quotes that I really like. There's, "I fall a bunch of times, but I don't really care," and then I wrote a little annotation that says, "Failing doesn't have to be scary, use it to motivate you to try again." And then there's another one that I really like that says, "I am the girl who wasn't afraid of anything, all grown up without having been broken. I can feel the strength of that girl, and I think he sees her." And then on pages 226 to 227, there's also this. It says, "The way we felt that summer, it changed me. Like knowing that love could make a person that happy opened up something in me. It's why I can write songs. It gives me a lot of hope that it's possible to feel that way. If what we had didn't matter, then my whole life is based on nothing." Then on page 235, this line, I'm kind of obsessed with it. It's, so incredibly simple, but it really hit me and I kind of got the chills when I first read it. It says, "There's no life in a straight line. Interpret that as you will." I finished it last night and I'm reviewing it with a bright new day. I'm wearing a little bit of yellow. I don't know if you can tell. This is a yellow top and then the yellow hair bow just to match her yellow dress on the cover. But I absolutely love this book and I have a ton of notes written in my book and on my phone, so I'm going to be sharing some of them. This is really about a girl who decided to bubble wrap herself so that she can never get hurt the way she did when she was young, and how that decision has gravely affected her life and stopped her from living. It's about losing who you are and finally reconnecting and finding the person you were. I just love having a character to root for, and I know admittedly at first I didn't like her, but then once I kind of got to see more of her past, her story, the way or the reason why she became the way she is, that just really changed my perspective of her, and it made me really root for her to find the happy ending that she that she very much deserved. Now we're gonna talk about my boy Wyatt. I have to really appreciate the way that Annabelle Monaghan, or Monaghan, I don't know how to say it, I apologize, wrote Wyatt. He's written very well. I mean, definitely wrote him as a mature character, and I really appreciate that. You know, sometimes I'm personally not the biggest fan of when adult characters act like children, so I really appreciated the amount of maturity she put into that character, you know, because it's so evident that he still has some sort of connection with Sam, but he saw that she's engaged, he has a fiance, and if she's happy, then he's just gonna have to deal with it for the rest of his life, because he just wants her to be happy. That's all he really wants. And I really, really appreciated that level of maturity. But yeah, so this is 5 stars for me. I think you should definitely read this. I really, really, really loved it, and even though I wasn't too sure about it at first, it really, really grew on me, and it kind of tugged on all the right heartstrings, and yeah, I just really liked it. I found pieces of me within this writing, and while the writing is simplistic, I would say, and there's a lot of short chapters, I would definitely give this a read as a fun summer read. And you know, if you look into it as much as I do, then you'll definitely be able to connect to Sam, or you could just totally read it for a cute summer romance. Maybe I just overthink and overanalyze, but that's just me. It's a 5-star. But you should definitely give this a read. This is a really, really great summer book. Same time next summer. Your next summer read. So I finished this book last night, and oh boy do I have a lot of things to say. But before I say anything, give my reviews, and give my star ranking, I'm gonna go get a fun drink from Dunkin', because gosh, I'm going to need it. This is so good. I don't like coffee. Fun fact, I really don't like coffee, but I get the cookie dough sugar thingy. What's it called? I don't know. It's cookie dough like flavoring. There you go, cookie dough flavoring. And it doesn't taste like coffee anymore, which is why I really like this. And I think I got a straw that's a little too tall, but it's okay. Okay, now I'm gonna give my review. I'm gonna give my review of Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I wrote a lot of notes last night while I was reading it. Yeah, I clearly just have a lot to say about this. Okay, so my first note is that actually, yesterday, news of this book becoming a series was revealed. And I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. I'm literally reading this book right now, and there's news of a series. Personally, do I think it could just simply be a movie instead of a series? Yeah, but I'm not a part of production or the creative team. So, yeah, I guess that's exciting if you really like this book. Which is to move on to the next topic. I didn't like this book. I'm so sorry. I have to give it 2 stars. Yeah, I know. That's really sad. I have to give it 2 stars. I didn't like this book. I had a guess on what the big reveal or like what happened between the 2 main characters, Sam and Percy, happened in their youth. Yeah, I guessed it correctly, and am I really upset that I guessed it correctly? Yes, because that trope that I guessed is my least favorite trope ever. I absolutely loathe that trope, and I just was really disappointed that that book went in that direction, because I didn't think the book was that bad until I got there, and I just couldn't move on from it. Like, I really couldn't. I mean, like I wrote here, I said I can't help but just be really upset with all the main characters for their actions through the latter half of the book, to be honest. I mean, they all should have known better despite being young, and being young and dumb, not an excuse. It really isn't. This book had me rooting for no one, and that made me disconnect. And then my third note, I said, overall, I just don't love this. I have very strong feelings about how everything unraveled, the reveal, the plot, and the characters. Like, personally for me, I feel like I hardly knew the characters themselves, and they honestly just felt really bland to me. And also, let me say, I feel like there wasn't any character development. Like, I know in the book it was kind of written that, oh yeah, I changed. But when I was reading it, it didn't feel like they changed. It's like their 13 to 17-year-old selves are still the same as their 30-year-old self, and I don't know how to feel about that. I wanted character development, and I didn't feel like I was getting that. But one of the things I did appreciate character-wise was that Percy was a huge horror fan, and I feel like I don't really, you know, hear about that in rom-coms, which kind of makes sense, but I kind of loved that about her, because as a girl who loves horror, I think that was a really nice touch to her character as a main female character. I really enjoyed that. But here's to say, did I cry while reading this? Yes, I very much did. Because, I mean, there was just a really sad part of this book, and the weight of the reveal definitely, you know, I felt it. I felt the weight. It was heavy, and it made me sad. And honestly, I just didn't want to be sad. I didn't want to be upset. I didn't want to be mad at the characters. That's just what ended up happening at like 12 a.m. because I stayed up late reading this. I'm pretty sure the message of this book is that love is messy. And yes, love is messy, and it's not always going to be perfect. But this plot and this story trying to represent that message didn't do it for me. Sam and Percy's love was more than just messy to me. I don't know. It was just a lot of other things that I can't even begin to comprehend and put into words. But if you were to read this and you kind of feel how I do, maybe you could help me out a bit. But I just feel like it was a whole other level of messy, and I didn't really enjoy reading it that much. I'm gonna be really honest with you. What I wrote down here, I said, I feel like their love wasn't really present at all. Personally, for me, when they started like revealing their feelings and their crushes, it kind of went into a different direction than I would have liked. And personally, I liked them better as best friends instead of lovers. And I kind of missed that feeling once they kind of went into the lover side of their relationship. I mean, they were just so much better as best friends, and I really stand by that. The only parts in this book I found quite sweet were honestly the very beginning of their like friendship in their past, and then the kind of rekindling of that friendship and relationship in the present. So yeah. And also, let me just add, this is my very last note, I said the ending felt so rushed, and it kind of did. Not even kind of, it really did. I feel like everything just kind of happened, then all of a sudden there was an epilogue, and I was very confused, and yeah, I didn't really like this book. I'm so sorry to everyone who does. Yeah, I just have problems with this book, and it's very clear, and this is a 2-star read for me. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna be done talking about this book before I get even more upset. I'm actually about 20 to 30 pages away from being finished with this book, and I just have to tell you, I absolutely love it, and I'm so happy that I love it. I was just so ready to throw myself into the next book since I didn't like the last book I read, and this book has made me so happy. I love everything about it. I'm not upset with the plot at all. I love the characters. This is about the main female character, Meredith, who had recently just lost her sister in an accident. And this whole entire week in the book, she is at their family's like farm vineyard kind of area venue thing, and her cousin is getting married, and in order to honor Meredith's sister, they decided to host this game that Meredith's sister loved, Assassin, throughout the entirety of their wedding week, which I think is just so fun. I think having that kind of aspect of a game involved is so unique, and I haven't read any romance like that so far, so it's just been really fun to read, to see how that kind of works through the characters and their chemistry and their relationship and just the plot in general. But yeah, I really love this so far. The banter between Meredith and the main male character, Whit, aka one of the groomsmen, has been so good. The banter is just so witty, it's so quick. I love it. I love how everything's so natural between them and just not forced at all. It was just kind of a natural connection, and I couldn't have asked for more. I love it when just two characters are so automatically like, oh, they're supposed to be together. Oh, they're supposed to, like, you know, talk each other's ears off and have the best conversations. And they're supposed to be together, and I love that, and I'm totally rooting for them. So that makes me so happy. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish this today, and I'll let you know overall what I think. But I think you guys know what direction this is going in. Okay, so I finished The Summer of Broken Rules. Let's talk about it. I have more notes, obviously. So, first of all, I said, I love how this also has a subplot of learning how to move forward even after devastation. There was definitely a lot of moments when you can see how certain characters, certain relationships were affected by the loss of Claire, aka Meredith's sister, and I enjoyed those moments because I got to see more of them and how they're dealing with the grief, and just it also helped me better understand the impact Claire had on the family and even family friends, and it kind of brought Claire to life in this book, which I really loved, and I thought it was very nicely done. Something that I absolutely love about the romance here between Whit and Meredith is that they are not perfect, but that's what works best about them. I mean, they play around their flaws, they're never too shy, and they rarely hold back and are just very honest. And they're just authentically themselves, which I also really love. I feel like you don't see that too much in romance, where they just automatically click and they don't have to pretend to be someone else when they first meet each other. They're just them, and they fall in love with the genuine versions of each other, and I absolutely love that. And let me just tell you how refreshing this book was, because recently all the romances I've been reading are about adults in their 30s, or if they're based in the past and the present. The past, it's like between 13 to 16 or 17, and then in their adult life they're in their 30s. So I kind of just don't have that really, like, I'm not in those age ranges. I mean, right at the cutoff in the teen years. And honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, 18 to 19 does have a different level of maturity, so it's just really refreshing to see and read about two characters around my age. I mean, Meredith's 18 and Whit's 19, so I literally just turned 19. I was 18 a little less than a month ago, so this is really nice. It was really refreshing. Out of all of the books in this video so far, I think this one has made me the happiest. I mean, I was just so smiley, I was so giggly. Whoa, I really struggled there. I was so giggly. And I could just vividly picture everything. It just seemed really fun, like, you know, from the romance to the assassin game to all the little family members that were in there, because there's a lot of family members, and I promise you, it helps. There's a Fox family tree, which I also really appreciate the author doing, because it helps you understand who is related to who, and is really great. So overall, I think this is the perfect YA summer romance. I mean, I love how it's a closed door and how there's very, very, very little drama. And another thing that I really love is that I adore the maturity of these characters, but how they also still have their childish, you know, fun and their childish nature, because they are 18 and 19. They have to be mature in certain situations, but they're also still allowed to have their fun. And I really love how the author wrote them and just kind of understood that age range and, you know, how they are. So I think this is really good, very good balance. I give this a 4.75. Here's the thing, I was really sitting on it, I was thinking about it, and maybe if I sit on it even more and just really, really, really think about it, it might be a 5-star. But for now, it's a 4.75, just because I think about the other 2 5-stars in this book, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez and Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan, and I just don't know if this book necessarily reaches those levels. Like I just don't know. I don't know. They feel like they're on very different levels. So that's why this is a 4.75. But I kid you not, if I really, really think about it more and more, it might be a 5. But yeah, you'll see at the end of the video what I overall think. But I would 100% recommend this to anyone and everyone for just a fun YA summer romance. And it's just really good. I really love this one. So you should go read it. Please do. Please read The Summer of Broken Rules. Very, very fun. Guys, check out the new bling. Check out the new bracelet. One of my kiddos from work made it for me and gave it to me yesterday. It's so sweet. And you know, this is absolutely perfect because it matches the next book I'm reading. The hot pink colors are immaculate. I love it, and I'm so excited to read this, and I'm in love with this. This is the best strawberry jam. Got it from Oregon when we went, and I'm so sad because look, it's almost done. But it's fine. But I'm making strawberry matcha today to just match the whole pink vibe, I guess. She's beautiful. This is a beautiful strawberry matcha. I can't even. She's beautiful. What do you think of the book so far, Hiccup? No words. He has no words so far. Alas, the final book of the summer reading vlog. I have my notes on my phone as always, and here's what I have to say about Happy Place by Emily Henry. This book at first was a 3-star read for me. Then I got halfway through and it made its way to a 4.75, and then the last 100 to 150 pages sealed the deal for me as a 5-star read. I don't want to get too into it because I don't want to spoil, but here's what I have to say about this book. Something I love about this book is that all I can think about is the word life. About how easy it can be to let life take control and what it can do to you. In this book specifically, it talks about how life affects Win and Harriet, the main 2 characters, and their entire group of friends. How they're going to move forward, if they can overcome the obstacles put in front of them, or if they'll ultimately leave each other behind. This was just a really simple yet strong and powerful focus, and I think you guys are starting to understand. Maybe not, maybe I'm just gonna put this out in front of you now, but I really love romance books that have a subplot of something even bigger, like The Summer of Broken Rules. Romance book, really cute, really fun, but it does have a little subplot of a heavier topic, and yeah, I just really love books like that, I guess. I don't know why, but I just do. This proves it. But I think we can all agree, if you read romance books, that communication, miscommunication, or the lack of communication is always a big problem in romance books, and that is also a thing in this book. I said, it makes me realize how important communication is in any relationship or friendship. That's important too. Even slight miscommunication or lack of communication can totally derail that bond and destroy all the hard work you've put into those connections. And I honestly wasn't expecting this book to be like this when I read the synopsis. I was expecting more banter, more comedic quips, but I really do love the direction it took, which it definitely took more of a serious direction, I would say. It's actually interesting because I read the behind the book, which is kind of Emily Henry's commentary on how she began writing this book and what inspired her to write this book. It's on the very end part of this novel. And she said that she was inspired by other comedic stories, comedic movies, and she tried her hand at her own story that was very similar to that, but eventually the characters took a life of their own, meaning that, you know, went from like a comedy to a little bit more of a heavier topic, serious topic. But reading that was honestly just very truly inspiring and motivating, because if something doesn't work out the way you plan for it to be, you just gotta keep moving forward. Some of your best work in life is yet to come. Maybe your exact plans not working out is the best thing that can happen to you. And that is, I think this book is a good example of that. So this note I'm about to tell you is actually a note that I wrote down in the very beginning of the book, and I'm gonna compare it to something that I wrote later on in the book. So earlier in the book I said, the characters and their friendships are written beautifully. I just wish I had a little bit more of a visual description. I'm having a difficult time visualizing what I'm reading at certain points, and I have to reread it and try to picture it, or else I won't remember. And then later on in the book I said, such strong and powerful uses of comparison, metaphors, and similes. It helps paint the picture of Harriet's feelings. So in the very beginning of the book I was talking about visualization of like location and setting, and it was just a little bit off-putting that I couldn't visualize it as much as I wanted to visualize it. But you know, eventually later on I came around to it, and I realized that I think I was really focusing on happy place being a literal place, and it really isn't, and I will also mention that a little bit later. But really honing in on Harriet's emotions and feelings, I think, was the better move. And if you also felt the same way that I did, where at the very beginning you're having a hard time visualizing things, I really urge you to continue reading it, because it just gets so much better, obviously, considering that I'm giving this 5 stars. Yeah, so that's just like a really interesting comparison from the beginning of the book and then like kind of mid towards the end of the book. So if you need motivation to continue reading this in the way that I did, this is your motivation. This is my message to tell you. Keep reading it, finish it. It's great. And here's what I'm talking about with the title, Happy Place. I said, underrated. I love titles for each chapter. Not a lot of books do it nowadays, but in this book specifically, the titles of each chapter better help you understand the significance and meaning of the title of the book. And I think that that was so cool. It was very simple and very, you know, easy to follow, but it kind of carries a big impact, and I thought that was a really cool thing to do as an author, and I'm like, oh, that was smart. That's smart. But yeah, I said, the yearning for both Harriet and Win are so painful, but as a reader, I love it because it just has me really rooting for them. Like, one second I'm going, aw, and then the next I can actually hear my heart breaking for them, and my heart's just going, ouch. But yeah, I really, really love this book. It is only in Harriet's perspective, so we don't go into any of her friends' perspective or Win's perspective, which honestly was kind of killing me a little bit, just because I wanted to know what was going on through Win's head at certain points. But with how heavy Harriet's feelings and emotions got towards, like, you know, the middle and end of the book, I'm kind of happy it was only Harriet's perspective, because I think if I had Win's perspective, I might have been broken. This might have broke me. So thank you, Emily Henry. You're kind of helping me. But yeah, I think I'm going to end this little book segment with my favorite quote from the book. And it's from page 223, and it says, in every universe, it's you for me, even if it's not me for you. And I don't think you even need to understand the context of this book. You don't need to know what's happening in this book. You just know that that line means a lot, and it's very impactful. And it's very sweet and incredibly loving. But yeah, this book, 5 stars. I'm so glad to be ending this summer reading vlog, and my first ever reading vlog, with a 5-star read. And I got very lucky to have read 5-star reads this summer. Like, I have 3 5-star reads. That's insane. Like, I genuinely haven't read a 5-star read since, I think, February or something. So this has been great. This has been a great summer. You know, I've found so many great and incredible summer romance books. Yep, so I'm gonna keep reading summer romance books until I find my own summer romance, I guess. But yeah, last book, 5 stars. So to end this vlog, I'm just gonna be giving my final ranking on all my books from my favorite to least favorite. So sorry. Every Summer After, 2 out of 5. One Last Summer, 4 out of 5. The Summer of Broken Rules, 4.75. And then these top 3, 5 out of 5s. Really great reads. I'm really glad with this. Like half of the stack, 5 out of 5s. I got lucky. I got really lucky that I found personal 5 out of 5s. And hopefully you guys think that they're also 5 out of 5s, or maybe you disagree. I'd love to like hear what you think, or not. I don't know, it's up to you. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, even though it's super long. I'm pretty sure this is the longest video I have on my channel so far, but it's really fun. I will work on making my reading and book vlogs better from here on out. But yeah, I'm excited. This is the beginning of a new era. Yay! Okay, bye! You're my soda pop, my little soda pop.